Hey everybody, I'm going to continue with these discourses. We're up to Discourse 3 and Part 2. To continue, beloved students, do forever put away any fear of the use of this great power. You know without being told that if you misuse it, you will experience inharmony. If you use it constructively, it will bring such blessings untold that you can but give praise and thanksgiving for the moment when you awakened to the fact that this limitless power is omnipresent and awaiting your conscious direction. The individual who has said that you cannot add 1 cubit to your height by your thought has stifled the activity and progress of the individual, for thought and feeling are the creative power of God in action. The uncontrolled, ungoverned use of thought and feeling has brought about all kinds of discord, sickness, and distress. Few, however, believe this and keep going on and on, continually creating, by their ungoverned thought and desire, chaos in their worlds, when they could as easily as breath face about using their thought constructively with the motive power of divine love and build for themselves a perfect paradise within the period of 2 years. Now, I'm being shown that was in 1932. The period of 2 years is more like 2 months now, because we're in a new energy. That was the old energy. Well, in fact, this was the beginning of the new energy, but we're fully into the new energy now. So what you manifest can come about within 2 to 3 months, if you know how to do this properly with full belief and full attention on your thought and feeling without any doubt. That's the tricky part. Without any doubt, no doubt in your mind. Okay, to continue. Even physical science has given proof that the body or outer form completely renews itself within a few months. Then you must see that with the conscious understanding and application of the true laws of your being, how easy it is to cause perfection to manifest in your entire body and every organ to leap into its perfect normal activity. In a short time, it would not be possible for inharmony to enter your thoughts or body. O children reaching to the light, this great privilege is the one open door, God, before you, which none may shut but yourselves. None may obstruct or interfere with it but yourselves. Fearlessly use your God-given dominion and power, and be free. You cannot attain and hold this perfect freedom except through consciously applying knowledge. Now I shall give you a secret that, if understood by the angry or discordant individual, would tear him or her from that destructive activity, even from a purely selfish standpoint. The angry, condemning person who sends out destructive thoughts, feelings, or speech to another who is poised in his own God power receives back to himself the quality with which he charged this power, while the poised person receives the energy which serves him and which he automatically requalifies by his own poise. Thus, the creator of discord, through anger and condemnation, is consciously destroying himself, his world of activity, and his affairs. Here is a vital point students should understand. When one consciously reaches within the inner electronic circle of God, he makes his outer expression and activity a channel for the ceaseless outpouring of the pure essence from the Godhead. This is, in itself, even though he be entirely silent in the outer expression, is one of the greatest services to humanity, which but few not ascended are aware of what it means to mankind. The one reaching within the electronic circle becomes a continual outpouring, and this very radiation alone is tremendous blessing to all mankind. Thus, eon after eon, after there being those unselfish messengers of God, through whom was poured forth the blessings of those not understanding the uplifting presence of this surging energy. When there is one or more found who can be an outpouring of this great welled-up presence, it is likened unto the first trickling of a leak in a dam. As the consciousness is held steady and firm, and as the rent in the dam increases, greater volume of water comes forth, for at last all obstruction is swept away, and the whole force back of it is poured forth into its use. Unlike the water dammed up that rushes forward, dissipating itself because it is without direction, the God power thus loosed goes direct to the channel of consciousness most receptive, and there builds itself up, awaiting the opportunity to rush forward more and more. Thus the student of light, aside from his activity in dispensing the truth, becomes as it were an artesian well, from the depths of which flows this mighty essence of God. The student should at all times remember that no matter what their mistakes may have been, God never criticizes nor condemns them. I've been shown to repeat that to you. The students should at all times remember that no matter what their mistakes may have been, God never criticizes nor condemns them. But at every stumble which is made, in that sweet, loving voice says, "Arise, my child, and try again, and keep on trying, until at last you have attained the true victory and freedom of your God-given domain." Always when one has been conscious of having made a mistake, his first act should be to call on the law of forgiveness and demand wisdom and strength not to make the same mistake a second time. God being all love must be infinite patience, and no matter how many mistakes one may have made, he can always once again arise and go unto the Father. Such is the love and freedom within which God's children are privileged to act. There is only one mighty, invincible, evolving process, and that is through the power of consciously generating divine love, love being the hub of all life. The more we enter in and use it consciously, the more easily and quickly we release this mighty power of God, which is always standing as a dammed-up force waiting to find an opening in our own consciousness by which it can project itself. For the first time in many centuries, the searchlights of rays from the Golden City over the Sahara Desert are set into active operation over America and the Earth. There may be some individuals who will see the rays not knowing what they are. Mankind need no longer think that personalities can continue to generate their destructive forces and long survive. Those who can use this knowledge of the electronic circle should no longer be deprived of its benefits. Give it forth, and the warning within it. Use this statement: I am the fulfilled activity and sustaining power of every constructive thing I desire. Use it as a general statement for the sustaining power in everything that there is. I am here and I am there. In whatever you want to accomplish is a splendid way to feel that you are using the one activity, and you thus arise above the consciousness of separation. Benediction. O mighty ones of the Golden City, glorified are we in thy wondrous radiance, privileged are we in the use of thy great rays, blessed are we in the conscious recognition of thy mighty presence, enfolding us forever in thy transcendent light. Powerful discourse, eh? You know, these are quite something, they really are. We might as well continue. Discourse 4, October the 13th, 1932. Saint Germain. Invocation. Thou mighty consuming flame of God, we bow before thy mighty majestic power. We rejoice in thy directing wisdom. We rejoice in thy presence in the heart of every one of God's messengers that go forth to direct his service and energy to the blessings of mankind. We give praise and thanks that thy presence has changed the tide of things, and that thou art, as always, the mighty governing intelligence. We give praise and thanks that thy consuming fire and thy creative activity dwelling in the heart of every one of us are ready to be loosed by the conscious desire into action. We give praise and thanks that thou art the consuming presence everywhere, that I am there and I am here, and I am the power that makes all things clear. I am the majestic presence, I am the conquering power, I am thy mighty energy, thy consuming flame each hour. I bring greetings to you all from the heart of the creative fire. The creative fire that I am is the flame of God, his master presence anchored in the heart of every one of God's children. While in some it is but a spark, yet with the right touch that spark can be fanned into the creative fire consuming flame. This mighty presence, God, in its myriad activities, is the omnipresent activity that all may use without limit, if they only will dismiss from their recognition the outer appearance, which is but an appearance, and take their attention away from that which has bound them through endless years. Today, the scepter of power and authority stands in the atmosphere before the single eye of every advancing student. At first, they may reach up mentally and take the scepter of authority, using it in this way, until before they are sacredly aware of it, they will find it tangible and visible in their use at times. This is no idle promise that those seeking the light may again receive this dominion. When we go through a footpath in the forest, we know we may return the same way, if we wish, but we may make the decision. So after hundreds of years of search in the outer for power and authority, we find anything that seems to be so is but shifting sand, and tomorrow it may be gone. By the rejoicing acceptance of your God dominion, you may step firmly upon the sure foundations of the rock of truth, which is God, and from which no outer disturbance can ever shake you, once you know from actual experience. Students of truth wonder why they cannot hold a firm anchor in their decision to hold fast to the God presence, which is their dominion. They do not analyze their outer expression to see what is lurking there to cause disturbance, question, and doubt. But for those who will take the authority which is theirs and probe deep into their motives, it will be so easy to pluck out the tares from the golden grains and soon be free from the disturbance that causes them to doubt themselves and the very presence of God which beats their hearts. When the students will be honest enough with themselves and their God, the I am presence, to pluck out by the roots anything that is causing disturbance within them and be able to feel the mighty light and radiance of the great God self, they will require little effort in loosing the great I am presence in love and intelligence, which is ever sustaining power and strength, assurance, or whatever they may need, in order to hold their feet firm upon a rock of truth, which is one of the great jewels in God's kingdom. Its dazzling radiance will enfold them upon the slightest invitation. O students of today, hold fast to this mighty presence which beats your hearts, whose life flows through your veins, whose energy flows through your minds. You have free will and can qualify and bless it in your perfection or imperfection. Always remember that through your failure to turn to this mighty presence by which you find you have created inharmony and disorder, you must give yourselves ample time to gain the full recognition of this mighty power and give it full activity in your life. Do not become impatient because things do not work out as rapidly as you would like them. They cannot only work according to the speed of your acceptance and the intensity of your feeling. The mighty energy that surges through your mind into your body is that pure electronic energy of God, the mighty I am presence. If your thought is joyous, held upon your God self as the source of your being and life, that pure electronic energy continues to act unabated, uncontaminated by human discordant qualification, but knowing or unknowingly, if you let your thoughts begin to gather from the discord by which it is often surrounded, you change the colour and quality of this radiant pure energy. It must act, and you are the one who shall choose how this shall act on you. Don't ever think you can get away from this simple fact. It is an immutable law of God, and no human being can ever change it. Students must understand and maintain this attitude if they wish to make steady progress. I tell you, beloved students, you may rage and doubt and fear and rebel all you please at self-correction, but it is the open door to your mighty illumination and freedom from all limitation in the outer world of activity. There are a great many students when they come to a certain point of understanding where all the results of their activity are revealed to them, and they look upon the many mistakes they have been made which must be corrected, become despondent, critical, and condemnatory to themselves and God. This is a great mistake again. Everything that is revealed to them in which they find they have been making a mistake should make them rejoice exceedingly that the things revealed which need correcting, knowing that God is the power to correct this, and should joyfully set to work to do so. The power of God's life which beats their hearts is absolute proof that they have intelligent power of God within them, by which they may dissolve and consume all the mistakes and discordant drawn creation they have consciously or unconsciously drawn about them. They may say to this undesirable creation, I am the mighty consuming flame that now and forever consumes all past and present mistakes, their cause and effect, and all undesirable creation for which my outer is responsible.